So right now I was just eating at Planet Wings, and that's my food right there. Wait. Hold on. See that white bag right there? That's my food. And while I was eating, like I always say, the people who are stuck in me, they put stuff in my food. So while I was eating, I felt the coldness. Like when they put the shit in my food, it just be feeling cold or whatever. Like when they walk past me, and when it happens, I just thought it was the draft from the door because somebody had opened the door or whatever. But after that, mad people was going in and out, and I didn't feel that. But right as soon as I opened my food, I felt that cold. So they must have put something in my food right when I opened my food or whatever. So I didn't know that or whatever, because I don't have a headache. Usually when they put something in my food, I'll be having a headache and shit. Right now I don't have a headache, but it don't be coming right away sometimes either. Sometimes it takes a while for me to get the headache. Anyways, I was in there eating and shit. I was eating my food. So then when I was finished eating my food, I was doing my shopping list or whatever, and I was on Walgreens app, like adding coupons and shit. So I looked behind me because the door opened, so I wanted to see if I felt that draft, that cold, and I didn't feel it. But when I looked behind me to see when they opened the door, whoever was opening the door, I saw a guy just standing outside of the restaurant looking at me through this glass, just standing here where I am. This is outside of the restaurant, but he was standing right here or whatever, just watching me. Hold on. Just like staring at my table and shit like that, just staring at me. So, and then when I looked back, when I seen him, all of a sudden he needed to walk away. He was just walking away and shit, but looking at me. So that must have been a nigga stalking me, just watching my every move, because I had my back to the glass window or whatever. Nobody was really in the restaurant looking at me and shit like that. And they like to watch my every move. They like to watch me when I eat and shit. So nobody was really in there while I was eating. So of course they're gonna stand outside the restaurant and watch me and shit to see what I'm doing. So my point is, I don't know if they put something in my food, but it felt cold, like that cold shit. When I be eating, when they put shit in my food, it's that cold, and I felt that cold, but I don't have a headache or whatever. And when they put shit in my food, like my fucking face be mad pale and shit. But you can see right now there's some color in my face or whatever. Like you can see there's color in it. There's color in my nose and shit. So like I said, I just don't know. So I just called the police right now. I called 911. And I was like, there's a group of people stalking me. Long story short, they be putting stuff in my food. So she was like, well, how do they get access to your food? Bitch, ain't nobody telling you to ask me no questions, you feel me? Like, you send the cops to somebody calls the cops and that's it. But I was just telling her, when I was eating in the restaurant, they walked past me and shit like that. I was like, but I'm not sure if they put something in my food, because usually I'll get a headache, and right now I don't have a headache. So then, I can't, like, when I told her that there was a nigga standing outside the restaurant watching me and shit. And I was like, but if I call the police and they come, they could just be like, anybody could stand outside a restaurant, and look in the restaurant. And it's true, people could stand outside the restaurant, look in the restaurant, whatever. But if people stalking me, and I look back and there's somebody just staring at me outside the restaurant, obviously if it's a nigga that's stalking me, right? Don't that make sense? But like I said, I don't know. So I was telling her, I don't know if there's an emergency right now, whatever. She was like, I can't give you advice, da-da-da-da. I was like, should I just go to the police? And she was like, you got to do whatever you want to do, blah, blah, blah. I could send the police to you if that's what you want. So I was like, you know what? I don't know if there's an emergency, because I don't know. That could have been I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt and shit. The stalker's benefit of the doubt. It could have been a regular person. So she was like, I was like, you know what? I'll just go to the precinct and shit like that. But when I'm sure of it, like if there's people stalking me from now on, I'm just gonna call the cops. You feel me? If I see a group of people stalking me, or like somebody from that group of people who be stalking me, I'm just gonna call the cops. No matter if I'm eating, no matter if they put something in my food or nothing, I'm just gonna be like, there's a group of people stalking me, and this person is stalking me, and their actual presence is intimidating because they're stalking me. They're just following me around everywhere I go. Like, that's intimidating. I'm afraid and shit like that. So the cops is there to keep me protected, so I don't feel afraid, right? So I'm gonna call the cops from now on and say, there's a group of people stopping me and shit. And it's like, where I go, they'll tell the people who's there, like, shit about me. Like, they what you call that shit? They're trying to, I forgot. I lost my train of thought or whatever, but I forgot the term for it or whatever. But anyways, I'm gonna just call the cops from now on when people stalk me. I'm not gonna wait to see if they put something in my food. If there's a group of people stalking me, I'm just gonna call the cops and just be like, oh, there's a group of people stalking me. It happened this, and this place at this time, and there's a camera right there, and y'all pull that shit up, blah, blah, blah. Simple as that. And it's like, you know, people hurting and shit, like things going down. But like, people really need the cops and shit, and I'm gonna take up the cops' time by telling them there's people stalking me, but I don't want nobody stalking me, so that's what I'm gonna have to do every day and shit. And I really don't want to do that every day, but if they're gonna stalk me every day, I have to call the police every day. It's as simple as that.